If you care just a little bit too much about what people think about you, if you're always in your head and feeling extremely self-conscious, if in your mind you know you want a better life for yourself, right? Like you can see it in your mind. Maybe you're watching other people online and you're watching them live the life of your dreams and you're thinking, I could be doing that. But then you don't go after it because the anxiety and the self-doubt hits. Maybe you've wanted to start posting content for a while. Maybe you've wanted to start a business. Maybe you've wanted to build a new skill and start a new hobby. Maybe you've just wanted to put yourself out there and go to more social events, whatever it may be. If you want these things, it's because your soul is trying to call you to your purpose. But here is the issue. Your anxiety, your self-doubt, your fearful thoughts keep coming in and keep making you self-sabotage. And if this sounds like you, then I get it, because that was me my whole life until I started implementing these 4 lessons that I'm going to share with you in this video. And they literally helped me go from an extremely anxious, people-pleasing, insecure person who was always self-conscious, always in her mind, working a 9-to-5 corporate job she was miserable in, to going after her dreams. Now I'm in my 5th year of posting content. I never in my life thought I was a creative person. Now I know that everybody's a creative person. I never in my life thought I could be an entrepreneur. Now I know that everybody has entrepreneur tendencies. And I left my 9-to-5 to start my own business. And more than anything, I went from being the girl that was anxious to people telling me that they can't believe how confident I am. And when they tell me that, I'm genuinely surprised to hear it, because I don't expect it, because I don't worry about what anyone's thinking about me. And I guess that's what true confidence is. And I realized the only reason I developed that level of confidence is from implementing these 4 lessons that I'm going to share with you. So let's get into it. The very first thing and the most important thing that I had to learn and I had to implement to overcome once and for all my self-doubt, my anxiety, to finally create the life of my dreams, to completely transform myself as a person, and therefore also my external reality, was the realization that life is just a mind game. Life is just a mind game. And the people that have realized this are always going to be the ones that can completely transform their lives and make anything happen for themselves. Because the number one factor that's going to determine whether you can go after the things that you want, whether you can overcome yourself, whether you can transform yourself, it's not how attractive you are, it's not how much money you have, it's not your upbringing. It is the amount of belief you have in yourself. It is your self-belief. So if you can just pour all of your energy into creating this one trait for yourself, if you can just pour all of your energy into creating unbreakable self-belief, you will be unstoppable. And I'm telling you that with 100% certainty, that the people that you watch online, the people that you're maybe slightly envious or jealous of, the people that you admire, the people that you think maybe subconsciously even, I should be doing that, I could be doing that. The reason that you envy them, the reason that you connect to them, the reason you admire them is because your soul is telling you there is a part of you that can be doing that. And I'm telling you right now, the only difference between you and them is the fact that they believe in themselves. Because here is the thing. Your mind is the most powerful thing on this planet, but it is wired to keep you safe. Okay, your brain is the most powerful thing on the planet, and after hundreds and thousands of years of evolution, it has evolved to be extremely negative and extremely fearful. And it does that to keep you safe, and it keeps you safe by keeping you the same. So if you are trying to change, if you're trying to better yourself, it will start telling you stories. It will start telling you that you are not good enough, that you won't be able to do it, that you are not pretty enough, you're not attractive enough, you're not talented enough, you're not smart enough. But these are just stories. They are not true. That is your brain just simply trying to protect you. So what I am saying is, why would you not tell yourself stories that benefit you, stories that change the script? Because if life is a mind game, which it is, the people who can master their thoughts and start implementing new thoughts into their mind and rewiring their mind to think in a way that benefits them, think in a way that will align them with the person they want to be, then they will manifest that for themselves. And so when I was in school, I was literally just this nerdy, cute, but like, you know, I was this nerdy Indian girl, and I didn't really have any friends at a point. I wasn't cool at all. I wasn't naturally sporty. I was never called pretty by any boys, or I never really got any attention. And I remember just being delusional about my self-belief, because I remember just telling myself, why not me? Why not me? Why can't I have everything that I want? Why can't I become the person that I want? Why can't I create the life that I want, that I envision for myself? Why can't I become smarter, more social, more beautiful, more magnetic? Why can't I? And so I want you to start saying that to yourself with full utmost belief. I want you to start saying, why not me? Because there is absolutely no difference between you and the person out there living the life of your dreams, except for the fact that they believe in themselves and so they took the action. And so what you're going to start doing from now on, this is something I started doing, is that every time those fearful negative thoughts come in, remember, you're fighting hundreds and thousands of years of evolution right now, but the brain is malleable. Okay, you can rewire thoughts, and you can do that by implementing new thoughts. So now anytime the fear, the self-doubt comes in, right? You wanna go off to something in your life. You wanna become a better version of yourself. You want to build a business. You wanna start a new hobby. You wanna put yourself out there. You wanna ask that person out. What you're gonna start doing once the fear and the self-doubt hits, once the anxiety starts to come in and it goes, but what if it doesn't work out? You are gonna always say this phrase to yourself. You're going to say to yourself all day, every day, but what if it does? What if it does work out? What if it does? Why can't it work out? Your brain is constantly telling you stories that it's not going to work out and that you can't do it and you're not good enough. But if they are just stories and they are not true, there is absolutely no proof that that is true, then why don't you do the opposite? Why don't you start feeding yourself the stories of what if it does work out? Why don't you get really excited about it and visualize it in your mind? You know, in the beginning, if you haven't done this before, it might feel a bit fake. It might not feel as authentic. It might take you some time to really create that visualization in your mind. But if you just keep doing it, eventually what's going to happen is when you say, but what if it does? What if it does work out? You will immediately be able to tap into the feeling of what it's going to be like when those things do work out, when you do step into that version of her or that version of him. So step one, we are changing the script. We are creating unbreakable self-belief in ourselves, and we're becoming so self-aware of those anxious, self-doubting, fearful thoughts, and we're going to respect them and we're going to honor them, and then we are going to also include some new, loving, positive thoughts, which are completely aligned with the version of ourselves that has everything that we desire. And we are going to feel good about it, and we're going to get excited about it. We're going to truly believe that it is possible for us. And this brings me on to point number 2. So you are going to start stacking proof towards that version of yourself. Okay, because here's what happens. You have a dream, or you have a desire to do something, and then your brain starts worrying and it starts becoming anxious and it starts giving you all these thoughts like, how am I gonna do it? I'm nowhere near the person who would be the type of person that would achieve something like that or that would do something like that. And you start worrying and you just start thinking, how? And I'm here to tell you right now that the how is none of your business. It's none of your business. You don't need to worry about the how. It's not your business. That is up to the universe. The universe will figure out the how for you. All you have to do is take the first step, right? So if you want to build that skill, go to the class. If you want to start a business, start the business, set up a website, learn how to do something. Just take that first step, because you're thinking, you have that idea in your head. I want to be a business owner. I want to be a content creator. I want to be a professional dancer. Whatever you may want. I want to be a more confident, magnetic person. What do you have to do to become a confident, magnetic person? Maybe you need to go to more social events, right? And then you start overthinking, how am I going to do it? It's such a big task ahead of me. I'm going to have to do this and I'm going to have to do this. Stop thinking about the how. Stop worrying about the how. From now on, you're going to operate with complete trust that all you have to do is take one step at a time. Just take one step, because the stories I'm going to tell you now are going to prove to you why you don't have to worry about the how. When you are obsessing with the how, you are operating from a place of fear, stress, and control. If all you are doing is taking that first step towards your goal, if you're just taking that bit of action, detached from the outcome, just doing it because you know that you'd rather do it than give in to the fear, then you are stacking proof towards yourself, right? So if you give in to the anxiety and the fear, what happens is that your anxiety and your fear gets louder. Those thoughts, those anxious thoughts, the thoughts which are telling you can't do it, they will get louder because you are giving them power. But as soon as you go take that action, you're giving your confidence power. And you know what the funny thing is? People tell me all the time, they say, you are so confident. You're so confident, like you can talk to anybody, you can go into a room and strike a conversation with anyone. And you know what the funny thing is that I remember when I was a teenager, when I was younger, I was riddled riddled with anxiety. I was so anxious, but I knew like I want to become a social person. I want to understand, how to talk to people. And I remember I would just make myself go to these social situations, and I would be on my way over there and I would be riddled with anxiety. And then I would be in the social situations and I would just be overthinking everything that I'm saying. And then I would leave the social situation, I would overthink everything that I said, everything that went on. And this kept happening until one day it didn't. Until one day I just became this confident person who now I don't remember anything that I say, so I would never really overthink about it. I don't worry about what anyone's thinking about me. Why? It's not because I'm just so overly confident. It's because I overcame my anxiety by taking action. And what that did for my self-image is that it developed a love for myself, because I became the type of person that leans into the fear and the anxiety and still follows through to build myself up. And so I love myself and I respect myself, and so I don't worry about what anyone else is thinking about me, right? Because why would I worry about that when I know how much I've done for myself, how much I've shown up for myself? So you're going to be getting so many more benefits by just taking action, right? It's not just stepping closer to becoming that person. It's developing a relationship with yourself where you're truly just falling in love with the person you are. And trust me, that person is not anxious. That person does not doubt themselves, because you have given yourself so much proof, right? So I need you to just stop worrying about the how, because here's what's going to happen. Once you start taking action, you can't even imagine the opportunities that are going to come your way. Like you don't even know what opportunities are going to come your way. And let me tell you a little story about this, okay? So in 2019, I wanted to be a content creator. How old was I? I was probably around 25 years old. Just checking my mic is on, I think it is. So I think I was like 24. No, that's a lie. I think I was like 23, 24, right? So I started an Instagram. But I was so scared that people I knew were going to find it. And I started it, and I would start posting these posts because I really had this desire. My soul was calling me out to help people, to make an impact, and to share all this stuff that I was learning. I was learning a lot about mindset work, things that were really helping me on my own journey. And I wanted to really deeply share it with people. So I started posting, but I was so terrified that someone I knew from my school, from my life, whatever, would find my Instagram. So I would spend all my energy heavily editing my pictures, making sure no one would know, heavily editing my name, my bio, so that no one could connect it back to me, right? And so eventually what happened is, because I wasn't in my authentic truth, I just stopped posting. I stopped posting for a whole year and a half. Until we reached 2021. And then I remember just waking up one day and thinking to myself, like, this is it, I'm going all for it. And this is another story, like what changed that for me, it will be another story. But I thought, I'm going all in, I don't care who sees it, they can all see it. They're not gonna be the ones paying my bills or living my life, right? Like, this is for me, I have to do this. So I started posting content every day. I started posting on TikTok and Instagram. I showed up every single day. I posted a TikTok every single day for about 4 to 6 months. And my TikTok grew. It took me about 3 to 4 years to grow my Instagram. But the funny thing was, like, even if I didn't have massive growth, after a year and a half of posting content, I had this business idea come to my mind. And bear in mind, I'm working a 9-to-5 corporate job in finance. I am a fully trained financial advisor. I did a degree in finance. This was the path laid out for me, right? This is what I thought I was gonna do. But I knew I wasn't happy. And so when I started my content journey, I wasn't trying to make money from it. I literally was just doing everything for free, and I just wanted to help people, and I was just taking that action. And guess what happened? Never in my life growing up did I think I was a creative person. Never in my life growing up did I think I could be an entrepreneur. And guess what happened? Because I was taking the action, my identity shifted, and the universe sent me, like the universe just gifted me with this business idea, because I was ready to receive it and I'd taken the action, right? And so it sent me these ideas, and it said, create these products. I found these products that I loved, and I felt like there was a gap in the market. And it was like, create these products. So I created my own gua sha, I created my own reflexology. I found this magnesium for making magnesium rich water, which I really loved for my health. And that also was really powerful in helping me relieve my anxiety. Magnesium is so powerful for that. And guess what? I left my 9-to-5 corporate job to start a business. I created my own products and I started a business. And if you had told me that 5 years ago, I would never have believed you in a million years. And did I know that this was going to be my path when I first started posting content? No, not in a million years. But here's what's going to happen is once you start taking action and you don't worry about the how, you just focus on taking action. Doesn't matter what result you're getting. Doesn't matter if you're scared, just do it scared, do it tired, because you have no idea the opportunities that are going to come into your life after that, the blessings that are going to come into your life after that. So you just got to operate from a complete place of trust, just complete trust. And this brings me on perfectly to point number 3. And this habit was honestly pivotal on my journey to transforming and to relieving all that anxiety and that self-doubt. And it was this one phrase that I want you to start saying to yourself all day, every day, no matter what. And it was this: everything is always happening for me. Everything is always happening for me. Okay, so this is about operating from a place of trust that every single hardship and struggle that you're going through, it is a lesson from the universe to help you step into your highest potential. And I know that it's hard. It's really hard sometimes to see how this could be happening for you. But when I was sick and depressed, I was struggling with my health, I was really depressed. I had year after year after year of just terrible years. I remember just thinking, oh my God, please let the next year be better. Please let the next year be better every time New Year's came around. But when I was in this state of mind, I didn't wait until my life got better before I started thinking this. I started thinking it when things weren't good. I started developing my gratitude practice, and I can tell you it was the best thing I ever did, because every hard thing I went through, the struggles I went through with my health, it led me to my passion and wellness, and it led me to starting my business, and it led me to starting my content creation journey. The toxic relationship I had led me to developing true love for myself, true respect for myself, and true boundaries for myself. Every single hard thing that I went through, where in the moment I was thinking this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me, now in hindsight I can guarantee, I can say that it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So I want you to start operating. So it could be something really big. You could be struggling with something right now, or it could just be little things. You're going after your goals, but things aren't working out for you. I want you to tell yourself, everything is always happening for me, right? So for me, for my Instagram, it took me 4 years before my Instagram grew. And I was posting consistently every week. But guess what? That struggle, once my Instagram finally grew, my identity was of someone who would have a little following on Instagram, who would have a following on Instagram. So when it grew, people were like, aren't you so excited about that? And I was like, no, I mean, I should have more followers because I've put in the work. Right? So what you're really doing, it's not just about the result, is you're building your character, you're building your self-image. And what's also happening is when you're taking action, you're getting feedback, right? So if you're trying to post content, you're always getting feedback, and that feedback is telling you, what can I improve? What can I do better? What can I learn? And it is this beautiful journey of growth, of learning about yourself, of learning new things. And again, like I said in my previous point, you have no idea the opportunities that are going to come into your life from this journey of learning all of these things. And when you operate from that mindset of everything is always happening for me, then it's really easy to be detached from the result and detached from the outcome, and to just keep going no matter what, because until the result is good, you can be deterred, right? Like if you're not getting the good result yet, you might not want to keep going. But if you realize that when the result isn't good, it's not good because it's there to teach you lessons, it's there to make you a better version of yourself, it's there to help you step into your highest potential so that you can actually finally receive the things that you really want, because you will receive them. But all of these lessons, all these hardships and struggles are there to prepare you, are there to help you step into the person who can receive them. So just every day, if you're struggling, if your content isn't performing well, if your business isn't doing well, if you are anxious, if you're scared, just tell yourself, this is all happening for me. It's happening because there's lessons to be learned, because I'm being given an opportunity to connect to that version of her. And finally, this mindset shift is one that I still use every single day. It's one I remind myself of anytime I'm feeling anxious, because it still happens sometimes when I'm trying to go after new things. I still feel that self-doubt. I still feel that anxiety. And I always remind myself of this one thing that I'm going to share with you now. And it's, I imagine my 80-year-old self. I connect to my 80-year-old self, because to me, there is nothing more painful than getting to 80 years old and realizing that I let my anxiety and my fear, win and I didn't go after everything that I wanted. Because here's the thing, when we feel anxiety, when we feel self-doubt, when we feel fear, we're not in the present. We are living in the past or we are living in the future. And I want you to develop the skill of becoming so unbelievably grateful for today, just for the present. Become so grateful just for simply existing today and having the chance to live today and to do something that brings you closer to your ideal self, that helps bring you closer to your goals, okay? Because there's a reason it's called the present, because it is a gift to simply exist today. And I know it sounds morbid, but this thought process really helps me. And it's the fact that it's human nature to take life for granted, to just assume that you have the next 50 years of your life to plan, to worry about, to procrastinate on things, but you don't. And as morbid as it sounds, and I'm sorry to say it, but tomorrow is not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not guaranteed for you or your loved ones. And when you can really live from that kind of place where you realize it is a gift to wake up today and to be able to do the things I want to do. And I know I already said this, sometimes if you're not in the best place, I know it can feel really hard to feel grateful for today. But I promise you, if you can feel grateful for the day when you are struggling and when you are in a hard place, then you're going to feel so unbelievably incredible, joyful, grateful once you are in a better place, right? So if you can feel grateful when you're not in a good place, just imagine what your life is going to be like once things improve, because they will. At the end of the day, and I'm sure you've heard this perspective before, in 100 years, in 150 years, yourself and everyone you know will be gone, and all these things that you're worrying about in the moment right now, that you're letting them stop you from taking action towards the things that you really want, none of that is going to matter. None of it is going to matter. All that's going to matter at the end of your life is the life that you lived, the experiences that you had, the action that you took, and how you feel about yourself. And so if you're like me and the pain of regret is a huge motivator for you, then tap into that, right? Because that is a reality. If we are privileged enough to live a long life, there will be a time that you're 80 years old and your 80-year-old self will want to come back and kick your 20 or 30 or 40-year-old self's butt. It will, because your 80-year-old self is going to be thinking, why didn't I take the risk? Why did I care so much what people thought? Why didn't I think I was beautiful when I was so beautiful, when I was healthy and I could move my body? Do not take life for granted. Do not take today for granted. Do not think that you have all of the time in the world. Today is a gift, and connect to your 80-year-old self, because your 80-year-old self would do anything to be back in the position you're in, to be young, to be healthy, to have a beautiful glow, to be able to have energy and the legs to move. Your 80-year-old self would not doubt you for a second. Your 80-year-old self would never give in to the anxiety, because by the time you reach that age, you know that none of the things you're worrying about actually truly matter in the grand scheme of things. And remember, the anxiety and the self-doubt, they won't always be there. I promise you that. I was someone who was riddled with anxiety and self-doubt. I promise you, if you implement these actions, you rewire your mind, you start stacking proof towards your new self, you're grateful for every day, eventually one day, the anxiety and the self-doubt, they just won't be there anymore. You would have taken away their power and their noise. And I just want to leave you with this, something that a coach of mine told me when I was in my early 20s, and I was very, very lucky to learn this lesson, but he told me, give yourself 5 years. If you have a goal and if you have a dream and if you want to change your life, give yourself 5 years. Do not give up on it before you've reached those 5 years. There's been many times when I was posting content, when I was building my business, where I had self-doubt and I wanted to give up. But then I reminded myself, in 5 years, you can transform your life. In 5 years, you can build the foundation for a better life for yourself. And people always overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 5 years. So if you have a goal, you have a dream, just give yourself 5 years, because I promise you, you will 100% make it, and you will love the person you've become along the way.